Yeah.
Afrique, et malheureusement Afrique sans fric. Oh, naso idée. Naso idée. Yendenika. Mais oui, c'est comme ça.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Now You Know podcast, powered by Stock in the Middle. This is Blessing. Today with me, I have Aristide, I have Belna, and I have Adele. How's it going, guys?
We are doing fine,
Good.
Doing great. Good. So, before we continue, as you guys know, you can always follow us on Twitter at Now You Know One and on Instagram at Now You Know Podcast. Guys, we have a very good evening today. I mean, we have a special guest today, and I feel like let's not even waste time to bring him in because he is the main reason why we are in existence today. And ladies and gentlemen, today we have Uncle AK. Uncle AK, welcome to the house.
Yes, so.
How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. How y'all doing?
We're doing
Welcome,
good.
Uncle AK.
Thank you. Thank you. This is dope. I was waiting for a day like this, God, I cannot speak Pidgin. My bad. We've had Bell, on Palm Wine Central, stuck in the middle of the couch talk. So I was looking forward to this one, you know what I mean? So this is going to be good. For sure.
Good. We're happy to have you with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle AK is one of the pillars of Stock in the Middle. Uncle AK, why don't you tell the people about yourself? Just a little something.
Man, that's a very great question, man. Normally we ask all our guests, tell us about yourself. Now I'm sitting here myself. Who am I? I'm a simple guy, man. You know what I mean? Love technology, love podcasting because it's a way to vent. It's my own therapy. Let me put it that way. I don't need to go pay anybody to speak. I speak it out here. Anybody got an opinion? Bring it on. Let's tackle it. But, just a simple guy, man. Like I said, from Cameroon, born in Yaoundé, raised in Bamenda. Parents from Awing, both of them. Awing Pekin. Shout out to all the Awing people. Shout out to all the Northwesterners. And shout out to, all the Cameroonians, man, and Africans and that. So, I want to say I'm the founder of Stock in the Middle podcast. I am the founder of Stock in the Middle podcast. Let me put it that way. I had the idea. I brought it to my brothers. Then, shout out to Hans, shout out to Reflex. I brought it to them. Reflex came on, he has a communications background. He used to work at C-SPAN. So, when I was thinking about it, I said, yo, son, you're already doing this thing. You might as well, help me out with it. Right. So I had this team around me already, set and, ready to go. And man, we talk all the time over the phone. So why not, put it on the air, what Now You Know is doing right now, coming on, sharing, childhood experiences and all that stuff. So Stock in the Middle started like that actually. And then as, we went on, it kind of morphed into what it is right now. It never started like that. Even the studio, Bell, you've been in the studio, when we started, it was just plain walls. And then now we got a whole full decked out studio, shout out to our parents, for letting us, borrow that space, So yeah, that's how it started. And then sooner or later, man, when you look at all these big giants, I had radio and all these different things, man, it's just a combination, it's just a bunch of podcasts under one big name, right? So I decided, hey, man, why not also create one too with my peoples, man? We're doing the couch talk and then the minute I was thinking about hitting up you guys to create your own pod, Bell was in my, text messages already like, yo, man, I want to create a podcast. How to go about this? I was like, shit, man, let's do this thing, man. Let's do this thing. Let's collab. And, shout out to you guys for actually, biting the thing. I don't know what episode this is. I just listen. I don't really care for the numbers, but, shout out to you guys for, keeping this up and also, innovating in your own way. Your IG is super clean, man. I'm going to give you that. My brother and I, we've been looking for somebody to run our IG too. and even create the graphics, man. Because, bro, I mean, I'm all about information, man. I don't care about the graphics, really. You know what I mean? I'm all about information. You get the information. Can you use it? That's it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty much who I am. Stuck in the Middle is about. Yeah, I'm a lover of technology. I like to invest in other people's growth as well. You know, not just my own, but in other people's as well. So when we grow together, we grow faster. That's just one of the things. So yeah.
Right. So first of all, we want to really thank you for showing us the way, because I mean, I think we started when you had invited us to one conversation we had on Facebook, Couch Talk we had on Facebook Live, and then when I was part of that, like after that, I was like, I think I want to do more of this.
Right.
And then that's where that idea came out, and Bell reached out, and here we are today.
Yeah, man, because it's not easy to come and sit down and give your opinions for other people to dissect, man. Because we see all this, political anchors or sports anchors just speaking. You think it's easy, especially when, you get backlashes and all whatnot. A lot of people think it's easy to actually get into the podcasting space, and they see that, it's really not easy. One, to keep up with the schedule, right? Say, let's record one episode per week. Mm-hmm. Dog, that's a lot to ask of some people, you know what I mean? Especially if you're doing it too with a lot of people, a lot of testosterones and, Adele, sorry, but, before, there was just a lot of testosterone, you know what I mean, going on around. So, having a woman in the mix, you know what I mean, would make it a lot easier. I promise you, it will make it a lot easier. If I'm like, we got, shout out to Ma, shout out to the whole team. Matter of fact, let me even list them out. Reflex, our host, Achiri, Ma is involved with the scheduling and all whatnot. She's a person who takes care of the calendar, the guest, all that jazz. Mm-hmm. Definitely got to have somebody on your team, man, because I hate emails, bro. If I have to reply to your email, just wait for a week, because that's how long it takes for me to even think about it, start replying and all that jazz. So having somebody on the team like that is really beneficial. And then Sir Charles, who will be buying the Couch Talks, he's just trying to get his ducks in the row, because he has his hands stuck in all the different things and all that jazz. Right. And Tutu, yeah. So shout out to the team, man. That's how Stuck in Middle runs right now. And we're definitely looking for more people to join the team. We need a social media somebody who's going to handle social media. We need somebody who's just, be in the studio just smiling, man. There's power in smiling, because when you smile, the guest, the guest is free. The guests can, express themselves and all that. So we need people like that to come to the studio too as well. After, this whole COVID thing is, yeah. So
that's why for us we have Adele, because she just makes everybody's day brighter.
I'm always smiling, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You just sit there like only you're ready and just make sense. Look at Blessing smiling from ear to ear.
It's okay. It didn't just start today too. But let's get back to Stuck in the Middle. So how did the name Stuck in the Middle come about?
Man, I'm gonna shout out a lot of people, because all these things right here is a combination of different ideas. Mm-hmm. We had some funny names when we wanted to start, but luckily, shout out to my homegirl Heba. I hit her up and I was pitching the idea to her, and she called me back about 10 minutes later. Said Stuck in the Middle. Like, Stuck in the Middle. That's pretty dope, because again, Stuck in the Middle is, if I didn't mention, let me pretty much mention what Stuck in the Middle is about. It's bridging two worlds, right? Mm-hmm. We are all Africans on this call right now. We came here at some point in time, went to high school or college, and now working, in America, and even citizens in America, you still hold on to your cultural values, right? So trying to balance being African and also, adopting the Western world is pretty tough. You know what I mean? Like, we could sit right here and be like, yo, Ari, what the fuck is down your head? But if we both sitting at home, we is not. My bad, son. I just had to pick something, man. My bad, dog. But if we're sitting at home around our uncles and aunties and parents, I'll be like, Ari, a guy, what's up your head? Right. No, it's not your head. You see what I mean? So finding that balance, just knowing when to turn one thing off and, turn on the other. That's what Stuck in the Middle about. And it's also, too, a platform for entrepreneurs, innovators, people who do philanthropic work and all that, to come on and showcase their talent, because it's a talent, right? To showcase their talent, what they do, advertise themselves as well. give a reason to for people to follow them as well. Invest in whatever it is that they're bringing into the world, because with every business, there's a solution that they bring into the world, right? So come and tell the people about this solution that you bring into the world, and just get people to buy into it as well. So that's pretty much how we got the name and what Stuck in the Middle is about.
Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting you brought up that point, because from listening to your episodes and watching some of the videos you have. So for us, so we talk about things that impacted us, funny stories maybe. But when I look at yours, it's like you bring people that come on your show and basically, for lack of a better word, network, and basically give people the opportunity to learn something that can help them tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, again, going back to the being stuck in the middle thing, right? You come into America. It's pretty much the same as, say, there's the LNS podcast, for example, right? Two dope ladies who are helping immigrants navigate their way through, like from coming into America as an international student, and then navigating your way, making friends, financial aid, all that stuff. They've already done the work, right? And it's just laying those foundations for the incoming folks to just pick up from there and go. One thing that baffles me, right, is this information is readily available for folks, but yet they're scrambling over the place trying to find the information. Somebody's already done the work, giving you the blueprint. All you got to do is take that and make it work for you. But yet you still want people to come and sit down and beg you to listen to it or force you to listen to it. And then you want to sit back and then complain. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I get into fights with people about sympathy and empathy. Right. And I go, no, I'm going to be sympathetic. Like, hey, you just don't have the time, or you don't have the zeal power to sit there and, learn what it is that you need to learn. Right. Because the tools are already available. The people have already done the heavy work. You want me to be empathetic with you when you have that buying power to buy into what these people are offering you, and they're even offering it to you for free. You see what I'm saying? So there's that balance in my head where I have to go, hey man, listen, the information is already there. You got to just pick it up, and do it. Versus the information is not there and you have to go find it. You know what I mean? So, but going back to Stuck in the Middle, we interview these people for you out there who wants to create, say, a nonprofit. You want to be a model, right? An artist. So we have episodes for all that. You just got to click and listen and say, okay, they did it this way, that way. That's already that first step. Right? You take that and then you go, okay, I see there is also this possibility here. And then you go explore. There's that possibility there. And then you go explore. Rather than saying, oh, I don't have the information. I don't know where to turn, what to do. Right? We've already done that. All you got to do is just watch, listen, and then you carry go. A prime example, we had an episode with Kate Cham. She's a Scrum Master amongst other things. Right? After that episode, there's been a vast majority of Africans who have hit her up. Even my sister as well. Shout out to Gertrude. Right? She's a Scrum instructor too as well. Right? A lot of people hit them up, and now you have a whole bunch of African Americans, right, who are Scrum Masters from just learning from their brothers and sisters. They're not looking at that person who has 1 million views or who is popular, right? To say, oh yeah, I gotta learn from that person. No, what about your brother or sister that is right next to you who is actually winning? Why can you not replicate to and win with them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that you brought up modeling and Scrum Master, because I think Adele here once had a dream about becoming a model.
Really? Stop playing. Stop.
You could always revisit dreams, right?
I know. No, I've never dreamt about becoming a model. Maybe a model on my own, but not like a model,
Yeah. And Adele also is a Scrum Master, which I've always said that I like for women to be called Scrum Mistresses. That's just me, right? But so Adele, so if you have any questions, you can always ask Uncle AK. So Uncle AK, so you talk about putting out information and it being out there, and then it's just up to the people to pick up the information and use. this kind of brings, like, when you start something like this, there's always those people who either support you or criticize the idea. So did you encounter this? Did everybody say, we're cheering on you, let's push your idea? Or were there those people that were like, are you sure this is going to work? Or like, what do you want to use it for? Like, how did that go with you?
Man, thank you for asking that question. Let me actually put up my frustrations here with that.
You already know he's about to spit about this one, man.
I mean? Listen, man. Well, I'm gonna say this before, I really say how I feel. Today, I really don't give a fuck. Let me put it that way. Today, I really don't care who is rooting, who is not. I don't care because I don't seek validation from nobody but myself.
Wow. Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to do something today, I'm not looking at Blessing or Aristide or Adele saying, yo, what do you think? No, if I've already refined that thing in my head, if I've already sat there and taken a whole month and thought about it, you think it's just one day that Adele would tell me no, and I'll just jump and be doing and not do what I've been planning for a whole month? Nah, fuck. But bringing it back, the very first pushback I got was from my own immediate family, right? My own siblings and stuff like that.
Right.
And that taught me one thing. It just taught me that regardless of what, right, like your closest people or your non-closest people will feel different about your ideas, right? It also depends on how you pitch in the idea to that person too as well, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes certain things I say do not come out as I'm thinking it, right? Just because my ideas are so raw, I don't really take the time to really trim them and whatnot. I just execute, right? But in that particular moment, I was taking some of those things really, really, negatively, man, but at the end of the day, I'll still smile and still do what I had to do. But one thing that I always kept in the back of my mind was the end goal. Rome wasn't built to one day, they say. So to be able to do this thing was for me to show people that, yo, we can actually do this. I can actually do this, right? That does not take away from the fact that I had, ups and downs, because there are days when I just didn't want to do it, but I had to push myself to do it. And there are days when I just excelled at it. So the fact that I started it and I know that there are people looking, waiting for me to stop is the reason why I will not stop. It's the reason why I will not stop, because there are people seriously sitting and waiting for me to stop so they could come pour on my head. No, I'm not going to give nobody that satisfaction. But I'm not going because of dumb people. I'm going because I see the value in what I'm presenting. Where I'm at today, to be honest with you, has been for most of the episodes, that we have recorded. My brother could attest to that too. A lot of people could attest to that. Networking with these folks who come to the studio, I pick up a thing or two. My level of confidence today is not what it was yesterday. Right. Not because that I did something special. No, it's because these people that I talk to, man, they just pour out so much confidence in how they're saying what they say and how they mean what they're saying. And I'm sitting there like, I'm no different from this person. I was born with the same organs as this person, except if it was a woman, I get lots to get the other one. But anyways, that's not the point, stuff like that. But we're born with the same brain, the same heart, everything. What makes them different from me? If this person can push out such confidence, if this person can be so focused and goal driven in whatever it is that they're doing, I can do the same. And just from that alone, I didn't need validation from anybody, man, to keep going. We just kept going. The journey has not been easy. There are days whenever my brother woke up, I said, man, I don't want to do this shit no more. You know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, man, it's your right. It's not your dream. It's not your passion. You know what I mean? So you're right. He will step away and come back because he sees the value in what we've been presenting all this time, right? So I don't really care about what people say, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna still do me regardless. I'm not sitting here looking for somebody to come pay my bills for me. No, I'm doing the shit. So why do I need to sit there and validate what somebody else is think? Now, if you come and say, yo, the way you spoke to me yesterday, I didn't like it, that's a whole different conversation.
Right.
You cannot just come and say, yo, what you did yesterday, you need to stop. Like, nigga, who is you? So that's just that with that. I mean, I employ everybody, right, to say, this is what I want to do. and just go at it, regardless of whether your dad or your mom thinks different. Once they start seeing the results and your consistency in what you are doing, the rest is history.
Man, that's amazing, man. AK, first of all, shout out to SITM podcast, man. You guys are the standard. You feel me? But it was funny that you were talking about the episode with K Champ, because that's like the first episode that I noticed that that's when I think about SITM, that's the first episode that comes to my mind, because I watched that episode, I listened to it, and then I spoke to my aunt about it, and after that episode, she started taking Scrum classes.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I feel like SITM in a way, and in a sense, is sort of you guys sort of like, you know, do God's work in a sense where you're lifting each other up, and then you're putting people on at the same time. For example, I remember I watched a episode from you guys a couple years ago, I think two, with TZ Panchak, the Cameroon artist on there. At the time, TZ Panchak was just, you know, coming out. So for him, I'm sure that was like some sort of, you know, exposure. So that was the first time I got to find out who TZ Panchak was. And then again, recently listening to your newest podcast that you guys have, the Palm Wine Central, and I listened to the last episode that you guys did, not this one, the last one with the Brotherhood, you know, and that one really hit me, because I'm like, you know, I got all these grown folks, you know, probably my elders, who were talking about stuff that, you know, relates to me, and, you know, basically like building up ourselves and how we need to be mentally, you know, physically, and moving forward in our lives and career and all that type of stuff. So I feel like, you know, you guys definitely set a bar, and you guys are like now it's like, I'm going to lead to a question, because now it's like you guys started somewhere and it's steadily going up. Your impact and your influence in the community, especially in DMV, is really big now. It's really huge. You feel me?
Right.
Especially to me, and, you know, everybody who listens to your podcast. You feel me? Because you guys continuously put out information out there that people want to hear and people want to know about, and that some people don't know. But it's like you said, the blueprint is out there. It's now for you to take it and run with it and see how it works for you.
Right.
So leading up to my question, you know, where do you see NYK? I mean, SITM podcast going? You know, you guys are already at a certain level right now. Are you guys? What are your plans for the future? You know, or you spoke earlier about your end goal. Where do you see that going? Because for me right now, it seems like you guys are up there. You feel me?
And to say we are up there, I would take it to, I greatly appreciate it, man. But we are up there in our own way, right? We are up there in our own way. Everything is a process, right? Everything is a process. The Joe Rogan podcast, man, the day we get there, I have arrived. But it took him 7+ years, right, to sit where he's sitting right now. So for me, when we speak of short-term and long-term goals, yeah, you know, in the long run, I definitely want to see, you know, some kind of revenue coming from all this work that we've been putting in over these years. You know what I mean? But that's a dream. Like that's out there. But I live for today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. What can I do today? Right? If somebody come at me and say, how are you impacting your community? Stuck in the middle, simple. And I go, how are you impacting your community? Because I had one guy clap me on Twitter because I replied to, you know, something he wrote, and he just clapped at me like, what are you doing to impact your community? SITM podcast. He went and researched, came back and said, oh, my bad, dog. You feel me? So for me, it's the amount of people that are rich. Is the amount of people that are rich. That's my end goal. Can this help you navigate from A to B and even all the way to Z? Right? Because if you sit somewhere and say, yo, I'm here today because I'm stuck in the middle, I've done my job. I've done my job. My day job pays me enough to not worry about the money that comes from podcasting. Or my side hustles, you know, I get money from there to not worry about money that comes from SITM podcast. But it's a dream that someday, you know, I mean, I definitely want to, you know, go out to the team and say, yo, shit, like Kevin Hart, buy everybody cars and shit. You know what I mean? That would be super dope. But for now, right now, this particular moment, as Africans, as Blacks, how has this impacted you? How has this made you like wake up from the couch or your bed and literally picked up your laptop or your shoes? You go run for those who are into exercise and fitness and stuff, or, you know, grab the certification for those who are in IT, or become a model for those who are inspired, who dream to become a model at some point in time. It's that immediate impact. That's what keeps this thing going for me, right? And also networking, having now, of course, Mindbanger shout out, Palmwine Central shout out, and eventually more podcasts, join the Stuckler family, because I guarantee you, bro, we are so divided, right, in this podcasting space. And I'm talking about my peers, shout out to the Africanist podcast, as, my good brothers, shout out, all these different sub podcasts that, we listen to. If we all put our heads together and we rally under one name, bruh, the world is ours for the taking. But the question is, who the hell is sitting there thinking that, if we combine forces, this is what's going to happen? Because everybody's thinking about me. Yeah. Bro, you're already you, bro. This is just a part of you. You're already you. Take this part of you, link it up with somebody else's part of them, and the rest is history. But that's a whole topic for another day, bro. For real.
Right. I definitely love the sense of togetherness. And this has actually brought us to our very first segment of the day, which is the African proverb. Adele, I'm going to put you on the spot for this one.
Sweet, sweet, Fanta yellow. Ooh, Fanta yellow. Sweet, sweet, Fanta yellow. Ooh, Fanta yellow. Fanta walking on the rainbow now. Fanta shivering in the moonlight wave. Fanta hugging me on the mountain top.
The proverb goes thus: teeth that are together help each other in chewing food. It's a Kenyan proverb. So you guys want me to repeat it one more time?
Teeth that are together
help each other in chewing food.
Right. So Adele, what does that mean?
Well, I definitely agree, because just talking about, I just want to talk about what he has said so far is kind of related to what that means, that if we all come together, it's going to make work easier and even more beneficial. You know what I mean? So to me, that's kind of what it means. Because if your teeth, right? Yeah, are spaced out, you'll not be able to chew, right? Or if you don't have them at all, right? You'll not be able to chew. So when you have them all together, it makes it easier. That's what I think.
Teeth that are not together, I call them comb teeth.
And what's that supposed to mean?
That means say your teeth get gab like comb now.
Nah, man, I think it's a beautiful proverb, lovely, and it's sort of like what this is. Like when you ball up your hand to make a fist, it hits harder, or you feel the impact. So it's the same thing, Right. When you have more hands or more people together doing one thing or focusing on one thing, the likeliness that thing is going to be successful is higher.
Young man coming with some wise words, man. Young man, you're surprising me.
It's my pink durag, man.
You're surprising me.
He's holding the thoughts together.
I'm telling you, Belka. This guy has been surprising us recently.
My question is, why is Bell so quiet?
Bring this energy next season, pa. You need it.
Why is Bell so quiet, though?
Man, I'm listening to AK right now because every time I listen, AK, I'm gonna sound like a fanboy, but you have that, whenever you listen to SITM or what's the other podcast?
Palmwine
Central. You obviously you hear AK voice, right? Mm-hmm. That's like the face or the name and him and reflex. You feel me? So the fact that he's here now is so
it's
I'm trying to get, yeah. Now I had to quiet. I'm like, man, let me shut up, you.
I have an impact.
Uncle AK, I have a question though.
Sure.
So my question is, since this NYK podcast just started, right? You've been through these. You're somewhere you're up there, like Aristide said, right? Because unfortunately, I've never listened to any of your podcasts because I never really knew about it, right? But as from today, I'm gonna, follow up with that. What's your advice to NYK? What do you advise us to do to be able to, keep going?
Man, I always tell the fellas, man, consistency is key, and not just consistency, but also just applying yourself. You know what I mean? just keep going. Just keep going, man. There's going to be days when you wake up, you don't want to do it. But one question that, like in my room right now on the wall, I have a big fat switch that says literally, what is your why? What is your why? Everything I want to do, why are you doing this? Why did you even start this in the first place? Right? Once I go, oh man, it was for the people. It's easy for me to just, wake up and do it. That like, okay, take for example, today I've been struggling with editing, Palm Wine Central episode, right? Not because that I'm lazy. I just don't feel like it. I just don't feel like touching the computer, none of that stuff, right? But the fact that we're supposed to release on Tuesday, right? And we haven't released in a week. I mean, we missed last week because of some technical difficulties and stuff. And then, this week we haven't even released on Tuesday yet. Today I'm like, yo, I really need to get this out. And then the fellas too in the group like, yo, AK, what's up? You also having accountability partners and stuff, is key too. So that right there with that, makes a lot of things easier. And also too, right. Once you find a root problem in your process, if it's somebody that is slacking, you talk to that person in the year 2, you talk to them again the third time, then the year 4, they got to go, man. They got to go. No hard feelings. They got to go. It's business. Once you start mixing family, business, pleasure, all that stuff, it just makes things a lot harder. Son, I got brothers, sisters, cousin, aunties that are mad at me right now because of the way I go about certain things. Guess what? I'm still growing. I still figure out certain things. The fact that you're not allowing me to grow is already a problem. But since you don't allow me, I allowed myself already. Like I said, I don't need the validation. I know what I can bring to the table, what I cannot bring. You know what I mean? So just know my role. For example, in SITM, I have forced my brother indirectly to be the face of it. He's better at communication than I am. There's no reason why I will sit there trying to act like, yo, I can body this shit. No, I cannot. I know he's better at this than I am because he did communication. It's his thing. The man is an author. By the way, if you haven't picked up No Such Thing as Halfway, go pick that up by Reflex. My brother, one time, got to give the man, his props. Shout out.
What's the name? I'm sorry. What's the name?
No Such Thing as Halfway by Reflex. Yeah, it's a very, very dope book. Hopefully y'all can have it at some point to come talk about it. He was supposed to be here, but some people don't need to keep time. So, the man is busy, but yeah, just everybody has a role to play, man. Everybody has a role to play, and everybody got to play the role. There are days when Blessing, for example, might, be called into work, right? Mm-hmm. Aristide can step up in this place, or Bell can step up in this place, right? Just that cross functionality, Madam Scrum Master, and just respect, right, within this little community of will make you guys, thrive and excel more than other people who are constantly bumping heads and all that jazz. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank you so much for that.
Yes,
Akondi.
Trouble.
One of the craziest things about how NYK came about is the fact that AK and I never met in person for 2 years? How long have I known you? 2 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2 years, and we collaborated on a lot of different things, blogs for Stuck in the Middle, just going back and forth and sharing ideas, not just podcasting, but different things, sports, life in general, and that's how we met, and we met on Twitter. So basically, we were trading ideas, and then eventually we got on that couch talk that Blessing mentioned earlier. And then after, it was very good, because a lot of us on that podcast, I think it was all guys that day, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was all guys, and you saw guys there telling their deepest secrets. Even I told my biggest secret.
I need to go watch that.
So after that day, it was like, I'm like, okay, I have Aristide, I have Carson, I have Milo, I have Blessing, and I have myself. We all grew up in Baminda, but we all grew up in different ways. But we also have some commonalities. So I'm like, why don't we start our own? And all this was happening, behind the scenes. I never met AK face to face. I never been in the Stuck in the Middle studio, you know. And guess what? He said, let's do it. We made it work. We recorded our first episode. He was there with us to help us out. And after that, he just took a back seat and said, you guys got it, continue. So that just shows the confidence and the networking that Stuck in the Middle is doing for the community. It's a very, very good platform. Not just podcasting, but the outreach, the blog. You have people that write really good content on their website, so definitely check it out. I've written, I think, 3 things right now, and I think I have 1 that's pending, but I won't tell you when I'm going to send it to you. But definitely, SITM is what we need as a community, because they do a lot for us. I think it's only going to get bigger, and my hope is that as SITM gets bigger, us here at NYK can also follow that trend.
You have to.
And my banyas.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, because it's I like to think of it as a ladder, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can either go up or you come down. In this particular space, you're coming down at your own will. You decided to come down. It's as simple as that. Say today, right now blows up. You have 100,000 downloads per episode. Speaking that into existence, right?
Yes, sir.
Every time you see this episode is sponsored by Stuck in the Middle Podcast. Son, if I'm listening to that episode or whatever episode, it's gonna, who the hell is this people? Right? And then you go straight to IG, like, oh yeah, okay, now. And then for the curious people out there, they're gonna look at it and say, okay, this is that. That's already moving followers from Now You Know to SITM. And then as we start posting, because we're going to be like, this is why, again, we need a social media handler, man, because there's just so much stuff to post, man. And I don't got that kind of time to be posting shit, man. But anyways, we eventually want to be posting every single episode from Palm Wine Central to Now You Know to Mambanya podcast. Every new episode, post that too on Stuck in the Middle, right?
Yes.
Our followers to go listen to, this good folks. And this is what I'm offering to every other podcast. Are you a brand new podcast? Yo, hit up Stuck in the Middle, man. Come through. Let's be sponsored by Stuck in the Middle Podcast. How is it hurting you? I'm not saying pay us. Nobody's saying pay us. But you could use the name.
Right.
I don't see anything better than that. Or you could go on your own too. I mean, no problem. But again, I can, son, 2 heads is better than 1. I beg, Bless, repeat that proverb again.
The proverb goes, teeth that are together help each other in chewing food.
Can't get better than that.
Together we can. So like Bell mentioned, he talked about how he met you. It's kind of like the same for me. Like the very first day I heard about you from Bell, it was just positive. And then we started, talking on text in the group chat, and then on Twitter, it was just positive up to today. So we can't thank you enough for that.
But so let me just say, there are a lot of people out there who feel otherwise about that, and that's okay too. You know what I mean? That's perfectly okay. Let's not paint a picture like I'm this glorious guy, whichever. No, I'm difficult to deal with too. You know what I mean? If you're gonna come trying to make my life difficult, I'm gonna make yours twice difficult. Right?
It's okay to be glorious.
You know what I mean? There's so much in this, like there's so much that, the world itself has made for us to make our lives easier. You know what I mean? If somebody has to work with me, you have to be able to make your life easier, bro. Because I'm not with that working hard shit. No, I work smart. So for people to come around and no, bro, like let's find ways to work smart. That way we save time to do other things and we just live in harmony. You know what I mean? I don't bother Bell. He does not bother me. I don't bother Aristide. I don't bother Blessing. You know, Adele, I sure hope I don't bother you. You know what I mean? Type of thing. But once you're doing your shit, son, I'm out the way, man. It's when you're not, you know, doing your stuff now. Go, hey, son, what the hell is going on? Yo, you guys haven't recorded in over this amount of time. What's going on? Like, I'll be that pest till you tell me, yo, stop this nonsense. I'm like, hey, my bad, man. I was just trying to motivate a brother. You know what I mean? But because I need that shit every day too. So if I wake up and I have people who are like, yo, hey kid, did you do X, Y, and Z? Son, hey, life will be better. But, you know, I can only take what, you know, people give. So it is what it is. But I'll continue to try and give, you know, to the world. But yeah.
Right on. So I'm a man of positives, right? I like being super positive. So let's not talk about negative. So what has been like one of your, I guess this question is a two-part question. What's been like your biggest high on Stuck in the Middle podcast? And with the guest you had on Stuck in the Middle, who was your favorite?
Biggest high? You mean high as in like
positives? Biggest, yeah.
That's tough, man. How many episodes are we now? I want to say over 200. That's tough. I would say one of my biggest highs. Man, shout out to all. I always get this butterflies in my stomach, not like the love kind, but more of like that, you know, see our sisters winning, man. You know what I mean? Like, son, if you actually look at the guests that I've featured on Stuck in the Middle podcast, I want to say 70% are women and 30% are men. The amount of people who listen to the podcast, 80% women, 20% men. That tells you a lot already, right? So when we start hearing about women saying, oh, men are not fulfilling men-like things, and we argue, look at that stat and ask yourself the question, what is really going on here, right? What gender is stepping up the most, right? My biggest high is just seeing women come through and put forth, you know, this different that, you know, this different solutions that are bringing to the world, right? Just how to go about it, how they are passionate about it, how to explain, you know, what they're doing, the passion which they're putting in it. And then most of all, when you see women, you know, get together, you know, in brunches, especially, you know, meeting at Stuck in the Middle and say, oh yeah, I've seen that episode on Stuck in the Middle, man, that shit is dope. I can't even lie, man. Like that shit is really dope. And then, what was the other question?
It was, what was your biggest high, and then who was your favorite guest you've had on Stuck in the Middle?
Favorite guest.
Favorite guest is Bell, man.
Or let's say the guest that like really impacted you, that you left from recording that episode and you're like, wow, like yes.
I'll still go back to the, you know, the K-Cham episode, because like Adele, I'm a Scrum Master too as well. It was through that episode that I was like, man, you know, I was doing cyber like Aristide, and to do podcasting, cyber, son, you're going to have to be straight like a ruler, because at this point I'm done and I'm going to switch to this and then be done and switch back to this. You know, there's not enough time, you know, in my 24 hours, you know what I mean, to accomplish what I'm able to. So, going the Scrum route gave me the time to be able to do these other things, you know, and I'm also one person that, son, I get bored easily, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I got my undergrad in information systems, right? Database was my specialty. I got a master's degree, information technology too, right? Specialized in cybersecurity. But today ask me, are you a cyber analyst? Nope. Do you want to be? Nope. It's not about the money, really. You know what I mean? A lot of people do it for the money. It's not really. What's my next move? AWS. I'm going to leave the Scrum thing, go to AWS. You know what I mean? So for me, it's more of what's next. But Stuck in the Middle is my home. It's my own thing that I started. It's something that I can identify with. Like, yo, this is mine. I could get fired today. The only person who could fire was Stuck in the Middle is myself. You feel me? So having something I can lean back to, having something I have hopes to, you know what I mean, just keeps driving me. And people say, yo, you're a jack of all trades, a master of none. That African talk, there's certain things that, you know, you just have to leave it be in Africa. Just leave it there. Leave it there, because when you move to someplace else, it does not work.
Right.
You know what I mean? It does not work. Bro, like, there's no amount of side hustles that you can have. There's X amount of side hustles that one person can have. The question is, do you have the strength and the time to do it? You feel me? I cannot want to be doing websites, graphics, podcasting, and then my work. You know what I mean? And they're also helping others too in, you know, trying to, you know, navigate this thing called life too, right? The best way I know how, and not have the time and availability to do so. So I want to say Kate Cham, man, because she came on, she literally like took us through the whole Scrum thing from start to end in a space of 35 minutes. That's big. Even I myself, I try to teach somebody, that give them a summary of what Scrum is about. It'll probably take me 2 hours. You know what I mean? But she was able to summarize it in 35 minutes. That's really big, you know, and it's impacted a lot of people. Again, so there was her, there is Chico, you know, Perfect Office Solutions. There is, I forget his name, Jelani Consulting. I forget his name. The database, the DBA guy. I'm just forgetting his name right now. But yeah, man, those episodes, man, those people are really doing something for, you know, the African community and blacks, you know, the black community in general. Man. Yeah.
Man, that's good. That's good. We'd love to see it and we love to hear it. These are very good stories, man. So talk to us about your, I guess, the first year of SITM. How was that like? You know, just like you said, with just you and your brother. How was that like, just the two of you guys in your first year?
That first year was the best, man, because we were figuring things out, you know, from how to do the graphics to the equipment to the type of guests we want to have to how we want to navigate the you know, stuck in the middle in general. Right. It was, and then we had Sir Hans with us too at the time. You know what I mean? So I know you guys have probably, you know, struggled with this, you know, having guests on who will ask what question at what time. You know what I mean? You want to ask a question, but then Aristide just jumps in and asks this question and you're sitting there like, dog, did you see me? Like, you know what I mean? Type of stuff. So trying to figure out all these different things, you know, that first year, trying to figure out all these things was really big, man, because after that year, you know how in IT they say you automate stuff. That year we were automate. We were trying to, you know, switch from, you know, on-prem to the cloud to automate. So now we're in the cloud and we're just doing stuff. You know what I mean? At this point, I feel like we've done everything we possibly can to, you know, set us in a negative, you know, light or to fail, and we've prevailed. Right at this point in time, I don't see what else is there. We're just doing. We're just executing. You know, these two has also led to different passions, books. My brother was already rapping before this. You know what I mean? It just increased. Like, I mean, it just increased. Books, publishing. You know what I mean? He published his book under Stuck in the Middle. You know, Stuck in the Middle is an LLC. You know, if most people didn't know. You know what I mean? So it's big, man. That first year, just trying to figure out all these different things. You know, I didn't know what an LLC was. You know, sole proprietorship was, all that stuff, or how to use them. I didn't know all of that. So that first year was, you know, a lot of learning, a lot of packing and unpacking, you know, a lot of pushing, you know, buttons, stepping on people's toes. You know, one thing for me that I tell everybody is, man, don't be scared to push that button, man. Because you push that button, all you're going to get is a no or a yes. If somebody cues you, then you probably push the button that, you know what I mean, was not on the table. But hey, shit, how would you know? Just push the damn thing, man, and see what happens. That's what we did. And here we are today.
Right on. So when you started, it was just, so when you started, was there ever an end goal of, you know, you want to like one day make money off of this, or is it just kind of, let's do this and let's continue doing it and then let's see what happens?
With everything, man, the end goal is to make money off of it, for sure. but money shouldn't be really the end goal. For us, the end goal was the impact to the community, right? How is it impacting the community? And then at some point, once all that impact, has happened, hey, community, impact us too now. It's a two-way street. All this hard work, equipment, man, this shit is not cheap, bro. Shout out to, all the people who, put in sweat, money, blood, tears, one way or the other into Stuck in the Middle. One thing that, I was fortunate enough once we started Stuck in the Middle was, you have those venture capitalists now. I had a little one for Stuck in the Middle that just went up. People were like, yo, I'm trying to buy equipment for Stuck in the Middle. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to raise money for this. And I was able to raise $1,000 and I bought all our equipment at once, right? From donations here, there. So shout out to all the folks. With that, eventually with the YouTube thing, now you have to have 1,000, I think it's 1,200 subscribers and over 4,000 watch hours, right? To be able to monetize, right? So we are there now, right? So it's just from here moving forward. It's just what's next. Just keep on, just keep ticking those, that to-do list. Just keep ticking them. One thing that people got to realize in this space is you cannot rush. You cannot rush your outcome. You cannot rush it. You just have to go through that process. Whether it's going to take you 5 years to get 1,000 subscribers, or it's going to take you 2 days to get that subscribers, it's still your process. And you have to be able to also know the type of people around you, right? Your outreach. If you're somebody who is very reserved, of course your subscription is going to be low. If you're somebody who's out there, you communicate with people, you open to people, you ask people questions, engage people to learn about your services or your product, then of course you're going to get more subscribers or more followers on your page, depending on, the business in which you're in. So just knowing who you are, right? Who you are and what you can bring to the table will then determine how fast, you want to reach your end goal. Say, for example, the money and all that. The money will come, man. It can be delayed, but it cannot be denied. The money will come. It's a matter of when. Again, goes back to that consistency, factor. Because once I start showing you, once I say, hey, bless, condoms. If you didn't like using condoms, so you'll be like, hey, man, let me try this condom. I'm not picking on you, I'm not picking on you.
Hey, Jesus. I came at the wrong time.
I'm not picking on you per se, but that was the first thing that came to mind, condoms. But anyways, if I start, show you condoms, at some point you'll be like, yo, what's up with this condoms, man? Let me just see what this thing is about, right? So that's one thing that, these Americans are good for, that marketing, advertising. If we sit and we see them excelling at it, and we're just thinking that we'll do our one post a week and that's it, and we'll go reach 1,000 people, who's the idiot in this, in that scenario, right? So just doing what the Romans are doing and expecting that your own will click is really the way to go in that, in that.
Yep. When in Rome, do what the Romans do.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they say? Well, okay. We'd like to thank you very much, man. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for sharing all this wonderful information. For those who have questions, AK, how can they follow you on social media?
Me or Stuck in the Middle?
Both, please.
SITM podcast is the handle for Stuck in the Middle. SITM podcast on all platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SITM podcast. For weekly ringers, make sure you click that bell thing, man, so you get weekly reminders of our episodes, dope guests that come on. What else? Follow Palm Wine Central, brother to Now You Know podcast, of course. And my personal IG handle is Uncle AK _ and Twitter as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the final episode of the season. We're looking forward to the second season. We'd like to thank you all for sticking with us. We'd like to thank Stuck in the Middle for powering us. And we want to give a shout out to our brother channel or brother podcast, Palm Wine Central, and our sister podcast, Mind Banyas. stay tuned for more info. We're going to be putting out some info out there, and then we're looking forward to season 2. This has been your host, Blessing. Tonight I was with Carson, Berna, Adele, Aristide, and our special guest, Uncle AK.
Yes, sir.
Until next time, thank you very much. We're out.